A moment ago, I stumbled upon a most amazing phenomenon. Something so incredible, I mistrust my own judgment. Look.
And have been like, you didn't get a break any of this time, partially because of where you live. You know,
Yeah, it's pretty tough here.
So
the venues
we
here,
started
they don't like anything
pretty much going, hey,
yeah, that's a good. Yeah, like I said, that it's been kind of hard with some of the venues, even in Idaho. They don't like anything that doesn't have real drums, live drummers, and stuff like that. You know, so electronic and industrial music, it's been really tough here, especially for independent artists. It's been pretty tough. So I'm glad that you're doing something though for them, and that you have
yeah, well,
chance out there where you live in Colorado.
When my wife and I moved down from Denver, there was a lot going on in Denver. I've been involved in the electronic, goth, industrial, and underground music scene in Colorado for close to 40 years at this point.
Yeah.
I'll be been doing music since I was 4 years old, and started working in bands like thrash and speed metal bands back in the 80s. And
I still listen
that into punk rock. Yeah, I still listen to all of it. Like, this is one of the things, like, you'll notice we have a really different lineup of bands. And it's because I might be a goth industrialist at heart, but I still like hip hop, like punk rock. I still like metal. My wife loves trip hop. So, if it's good, we're going to put it out. We're not country or, anything racist, anything crazy like that. But, if it's good, we're going to put it if somebody wants to put it out with us,
So
I should say.
Kind of already described it. So you pretty much, your process of finding new artists has been, you said, through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that? Or do you have any other avenues that people can reach you? Do you have a website for your product?
Oh yeah, we have a website. It's under construction because right, we're mainly my wife and I doing all the background work of it. But it's product42.com, and you can get in camp. You can find most of our social media through there. Okay. I think you also can get to our merch links. Our physical media store got now. I'm in the process of rebuilding that. But we fell victim to one of the cyber attacks that's been as a result of all the stupidity going on in the world, and that knocked out. We 30 plus CDs up for that you could buy and order from anywhere in the world, and that got knocked down. So we have 3 at this moment. But we're like, when I'm not like putting up or working on with one of our artists or promoting it, I'm working on that or working on another aspect of the business to bring in extra money for our artists and to try to get them overseas and from over here, help them with more touring support and more physical, etc.
Yeah, that's good. Are you yourself an artist?
Yes, I am. Yes, I've been doing music, as I said, for most of my life since I was old. I've been writing music originally since the 80s. When I started Produkt 42, as I said, it started with my own music. I
Okay.
was putting out something called I was calling it OSO at Zero S0, and
Oh,
it was
okay.
literally me teaching myself how to reprogram and the basics of music theory again, and how
Yeah.
structure goes together. And my sister, both my sisters and my wife and some of our neighbors were all kept asking him, "Who is that? Where can we get it?" And I'm like, "That's my stuff." And my wife was like, "No." I showed her, and she's all like, "You need to start putting this out." So I started just kind of putting it out, and it started going places. And best, it's a kind of, if Tangerine Dream was doing Electro Clash,
Yeah.
it's about
Oh,
the
okay.
best way.
Okay. Okay.
Like, as I said, like it's me. It literally was me relearning how to redo everything,
Huh.
and so but it actually has a cohesive, coherent sound through it. Like, I've got another album in the works. Should have been released 2 months ago, but I have 100 tracks just of Oso stuff that I've
Ooh.
been weeding through, going, ooh, wait, no, let me read this, whittle this down. Let's change this one out, change this one out. Because most of the time I'm working with like people like brides or gay per microwave to try to get them the support
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I can.
Definitely. Do you have
And
show?
because
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what was oh what no what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, do you have stuff planned for them, like shows? Do they have tours coming
Well,
up?
so
Microwave, and I would love to see Brides. That would
we
be.
so,
They're really
so
good. They're my style. I love that goth and punk kind of
yeah.
sound clashing together. You know, it's like aggressive goth rock.
Yeah.
I love that sound. Kind of
So,
stuff.
Hyde, or Tepes, Adrian Tepes, who is Brides, is also half of Sever the Servants, which is the first band we put out. Is kind
Okay,
of
yeah,
the
I remember seeing
reason
that band. Yeah.
we started putting it together. Um, and Hyde is also Car- the electronic metal artist Carrion as well,
Okay.
as Sever the Servants, as Brides, and he's just a house of stuff. He was going to be coming out with Misfits toys for this tour that just went, and that's right now. And some issues came up with getting him over from Norway.
Oh,
So right now we're working on setting up a new tour and the beginning after the beginning of the year, but nothing solidified at this point.
okay.
And Gabe started to do these again because he's starting to feel things back out. So we're letting him he and his lineup like solidify. We've got support for him if they ever want to do shows in Colorado. They always have venues to do it at, including streaming from here.
He's very actually excited about his project and people that he's worked with. Worked with so amazing, like Eva X and a bunch of different people that a pretty impressive lineup that he worked with.
Oh, yeah, so like the post I made like about the show and like setting up for the show earlier that had, what was it, 70 people posted. Probably 50 of those people were tagged in the post
Yeah.
just because we're working with Microwave on the Dead Shall Walk, the Dead Shall Walk remixes, volumes 1 through 90. I mean, 1 through 6. And, like, which I think is freaking amazing. Like he was like, I want to do a remixed album for the Dead Shall Walk. Like, brilliant because that album is so in our eyes it's transcendental. It's one of those things. It's crossing so many genres so fluidly. And it's also connecting so many people, different genres, so many different fields, is so fluidly that it feels seamless. And you don't lot with a lot of crossover artists, and manages to do it seamlessly and in a way I've ever heard before.
How did you guys come about meeting each other?
I can't remember how we first met. I'm pretty sure we met while I was doing some writing for Sounds and Shadow in the early me. And when we started Produkt 42, he was one of the first people I came to because I've been so in his style for so long.
Yeah.
That it really rang out to me that I knew that even if we didn't get the sale, even if he didn't have the sales, going to get the plays that people were going to be listening to him. Exactly. And he gets a good 1,000 plays across all streaming services a month.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. Like I get that I get that a year across all the 12 of my projects.
Yeah.
But I'm the I'm head of the record label. I can put out projects that get 2 listens in a year.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Is your wife a musician at all too? Is she into it?
She is. She just started learning about music composition. She DJ for about 15, 16 years now. Like when I became disabled, one of the only ways I had to make money because of my condition was DJing. So she learned how to DJ by proxy because she knew our catalog better than most of the people who were coming out to DJ that we were paying $60 a set to DJ for us. So she learned that way, and when I started putting out music, reached out. She's like, so I started teaching her how to sequence and the ins and outs of song production, and she's been putting out compilations as Miss Minx. She did the production, the compiling and album cover art for the 20 sampler Phoenix.
Oh, wonderful! Well, good for her. Good for her.
So she's involved. So she's involved pretty much on every end of the business, including we have a collectibles and Lego side of the media side that she has built.
Check that out.
Lego City. Yeah, it's getting crazy over here, and it's mainly like a way for her dad to connect and to help with my motor skills after I have seizures and stuff like that.
Oh, wonderful.
But she's turned it into something incredible. I can't say enough for how much.
You're gonna have to send me the link.
She's kind of like the Wizard of Oz here. Like she does all the stuff behind the scenes. I'm, the glowing face. That's kind of why it's going on the way it is.
That's awesome. I'm just kind of blown away right now. Actually, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've got to check out that Lego site. That's on YouTube, right? You said.
Actually, it's mainly on Instagram and Facebook called Under the Brick Fluence.
Oh,
it started with her dad, who's 83 this year. A couple years ago, he's been a programmer of crazy background and has done all kinds of crazy hobbies. And he was getting to the point that he couldn't do most of trying to find them. And so we found him a Lego car. And he built it right, but he was so used to doing real RC cars and planes that if something didn't work, he was cutting the Legos and gluing them together and stuff. So we had to start kind of doing it with him and whatnot because at 83 he just it wasn't exactly willing to chase right away. So we had to be able to how to work with him on it so he didn't get himself too frustrated and worked up. And that's to a crazy obsession since we don't do a lot else because we can't because of my health restrictions. We can't really do a lot else.
Oh, okay, I hear you. Well, that's pretty neat. My son is actually a Lego master. He's amazing when it comes to that.
Nice.
And my wife's been a really major supporter of music and my show too and stuff. So it's really nice having that support from your family. So that's
Was he
really nice. What was that?
When you say Lego Master, what do you mean he was on the?
Oh, we built it. Well, he could just build anything out of Legos. It was just he loved Legos and just I call him the Lego Master.
That's fair.
He's amazing at it.
My offspring is the one who kind of prompted us to do this because we used to buy them Lego growing up when I got visitation of them, and that kind of went into the adulthood. And at one point after they got out of the military, they're all like in this extra room. I'd make a Lego city and film weird stuff in it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not sure that April would be 7 years later. My April's all like, hey, you know what? I want a Lego city. And I'm like sitting here going, the irony of that whole conversation right there. And since then, like we've done weird different bands. Like I've done the Mock of the Damned, doing Smash It Up out of Lego minifigs. We did Iggy Pop ones where we took a golden Harry Potter upper figure and put it on like the lower half of like I think it was like a haunting minifigure that had like ripped jeans and had it like rolling around on stage.
Oh, funny.
Did like Ice Cube one, done some as what was the first one that got us a viral status? It was Daft Mandalorian. We took Mandalorian minifigs and made them do Daft around the world.
Oh, how funny!
We just get goofy sometimes with it.
Okay, I overheard you say that you have some family that were in the military.
My offspring was, my father-in-law was, my father was. I a different health thing.
Which branch?
In the Air Force. My wife's dad was in the Air Force, and my offspring was in.
I'm a Marine.
Oh, nice!
I joined the Marine Corps in '93. My dad was a Marine, and my older brother was a Marine, and my grandpa was in the Navy.
So another one of our another one of our artists, Angel of Violence, ex-Marines. Or I think Nate might still be enlisted. I don't exactly remember, and no, like I really should talk to him more about it. Like I've known him for years, but we've been so busy that like since this started, half the time I'm like, what time is it? Okay, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Who do I have to be online to talk to and find out about what they want? Because like we're supposed to be Lucid Dreams on their newest single that's releasing tomorrow, and I'm like, are we doing the distribution? Or are we just giving you that backup support to get farther and to see if we want to work together further? What's going on, type of thing. Like, but we're literally there almost 24 artists. So as you've kind of seen, like messaging me, like with what's going on with us and your project, Like you can message and I'll be like, you'll be like, hey, check this out. I'm like, okay, just got up, already listening to it, but give me a while, like, I'll get back to you on it. That's how it is with everyone. Like,
Yeah.
I might forget for a couple days because like we the new release leg coming out that he's doing the cassette version. We're doing the CD and vinyl releases, and it's just this incredible. I don't want to call it noise. It's closer to like Apex Twin with some sentiments,
Okay.
meets like Death Grips, and like
Right.
it's really
Yeah.
it just is really impressive project. It kind of came to me the same way you came to it. Like you
Yeah.
started, we started talking because like we're just literally here to help put artists in chain and do what we can to further the music industry.
Yeah, it's kind of what
And
I did the show about, to just
exact
kind of keep
nice.
our music scene alive, goth punk, industrial, and
Well,
EBM.
well,
So
that's that's what it's back in the 80s and 90s when I got into this, and from the looks of it, you probably we got into some of this around the same time.
yeah,
Like it was right back then. Was if you said punk, that didn't just mean like mohawks and hardcore. That could mean, and that could mean Front 242. That could mean Mercy. That could mean Echo and the Bunnymen. But it could also mean Agnostic Front and GBH and the
yeah,
Exploited and Social Distortion, and it could mean anything. And like your rivet heads were were the ones who were like the industrial is box, and
yeah,
the goth kids
definitely.
were the ones who were like
Two
goth
main
is
two
this.
main labels, Wax Tracks and
you know
Metropolis. It's
yeah,
yeah, they kind of box
that's it,
themselves out, but rivet heads, yeah, I always
uh,
love that saying, rivet heads.
yeah, well, I mean, one of the
It's
best
funny.
terms for that I've ever heard for a counterculture rivet head. I mean, it's better than punks, or I mean punk because it sounds like you know it's a derogatory term in most places, so
It
it's
is. It
like,
is.
yeah, go ahead and try to insult me.
Exactly. But I still use this saying, "Punk's not dead, man. Punk's not dead.
Yeah,
I'm here."
it's pretty much
I listen to it
it's
every
all
day.
mentality. Exactly. And it's all in the mentality of what you're doing. I mean, if Throbbing Gristle was more punk than some of the punk bands that are running around in spikes and mohawks,
Yeah,
because they're just copying, and they're just, as Nine Inch Nails said, a copy of a copy of. Whereas things like Throbbing Gristle and SPK were like literally making it going, let's see how much noise we can make with this thing that shouldn't be this type of a sound, and get people moving to it. Let's sing about E. coli and disease, and get people moving to it.
yeah,
And look, to this day, that changed just as much as Dio did or Black Sabbath in different wavelengths.